Right, guys, when we see the words in terms of P, that means that we have to have P in our answers, right? So it's going to be like P or negative P or 2P or P plus 1. There has to be a P in our answer. They're not telling us we must solve for P, okay? I think with you guys probably that's not a mistake that you would make, but it's a very common mistake that people would try to solve for P here and then get actual numerical values for these answers, right? They're saying in terms of P, so I'm just going to make a note here. P must be in the answers. Okay, so they've told us that cos 20 is equal to P. So now in order to write all of these in terms of in terms of P, we need to first write them in terms of cos 20, right? So what do we think? Cos 160, can I express that somehow using a 20 degrees? I can write it as cos 180 minus 20. It's like those questions that we did last week where you have cos of 135. We said let's write that as cos of 180 minus 45, right? So that we can use our special triangle. Now here we're going to say that this is in quadrant 2. And what is cos in the second quadrant? What is cos in the second quadrant? Negative. All right, so negative cos 20. Now, if cos 20 is P, negative cos 20 is going to be negative P. Yes? Guys, you can't type into your calculator negative cos 20 and give an answer for that because you will get an answer, right? Cos 20 is going to give you a number, but then you're not following the instructions. They are asking for these ratios in terms of P. Okay. What about the next one? Sine of negative 70. Yep.
Sine 20 minus 90?
Yes, we can do that. We can write this as sine of 20 minus 90. Which quadrant is that in, guys? Quadrant 4, right? What is the sign of sine in the fourth quadrant? Negative. So this is going to become negative, what now? Cos 20. Remember, whenever there is a 90-degree angle involved in our compound angle that we have, our bracketed angle, we have to change sine to cos. All right, and now what's this? Negative P. Are you guys awake?
And I was thinking to the 270 plus 20.
270 plus 20. Yes. Yeah, that's also fine. You also could have said, another thing that we could have done, guys, is we could have said straight away that this is in quadrant 4. Right? And then what is the sign in quadrant 4? Negative. So you could have changed this to negative sine 70, which is then the same as negative cos 20. Right? Either way it works. You get the same answer. Okay, what about cos 200? 200. 180 plus 20. Which quadrant is that? Quadrant 3. What is cos in the third quadrant? Negative. So again, we have negative P. I promise this is not going to be the answer to all of the questions. Next one, sine 340. Sine 360 minus 20. Which quadrant is that? Which quadrant? 4. Do I have to sing before you guys give me an answer? Oh, of course, yes. All right, what is sign in the fourth quadrant? Negative. Now we have a problem. Because we know what cos 20 is, but we don't know what sine 20 is. Now we are going to go back up to what was given originally. Cos 20 equal to P, right? I'm going to highlight this. Guys, isn't P the same as P over 1? Okay, so let's write this as P over 1. And what is cos again? What is the definition of cos? When you learned about it for the first time last year, I told you that cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So guys, we are actually going to use this given equation or expression, and we're going to draw a right angle triangle with a 20-degree angle in it, and then the adjacent side is going to be P, and the hypotenuse is going to be 1. And I can then use Pythagoras to get the third side in terms of P. Okay, so I'm going to write here on the side, cos 20 is equal to P over 1. So P is the adjacent side and 1 is the hypotenuse. Now guys, if you want to, you can draw this on a Cartesian plane, right? Because, yeah, you can always do that. But because it's an acute angle, we don't actually have to draw it on a Cartesian plane. We can just draw a right angle triangle. Don't worry about drawing it to scale or anything.
Would you have to have said cos 20 is P over 1?
No.
Would you have to have even drawn a triangle?
Yes. Now guys, if this angle is 20, what is the other angle going to be? 70. We're not actually going to need it for this, but we might, right? If there were more questions, we could use the 70-degree angle to work or to get these ratios. All right, so from 20 degrees, the adjacent side is P, so this side over here, and the hypotenuse is 1. And I'm getting that from the given expression. So now if I need to find the third side here, I'm going to say hypotenuse squared minus the other side squared, right? So 1 squared minus P squared. So 1 minus P squared. But that is going to give me this side squared, right? So what is this side actually going to be? Let's see if you guys agree with this. And just somewhere you have to write Pythagoras. So guys, for these, you don't actually have to show the calculation of how you are finding this side. You obviously can, right, if you want to. If it's easier for you that way, then no problem, you can. But I just want to show you a quicker way, if you can kind of do this calculation in your head. So you can say, all right, this side squared is 1 squared minus P squared. So then to get the side, I have to take the square root, right? And since these are both acute angles, if I was to actually draw this in a Cartesian plane, it would be in the first quadrant, right? So all my sides would be positive. Just make sure that you do write Pythagoras somewhere. Okay, so now we can use this triangle to get negative sine of 20. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So this side now, the square root of 1 minus P squared over 1, which obviously you don't have to write. I am just going to write it for now, just so that you can see exactly where that came from. But in a test or exam, it's absolutely fine if you just write the final answer. Any questions on that, guys? So if they've given you an expression like cos 20 equals P, and you get to a question where you can't just use that expression straight away, like we could with all the others, right? We could write all of the other expressions in terms of cos 20. This one we couldn't. We got to sine 20, right? Then you're going to have to draw a triangle using that given expression. Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah. I just want to give you guys one of these just to practice. Sorry, I'm just looking for a nice one quickly.
Trig not get much more difficult than this.
We must still do trig equations, which some people find quite hard. And then we're still going to do trig in AP as well. Okay, sorry, I just quickly had to look for one that's nice. All right, that one. Okay, you can get going on that now. You have quite a lot of work for tomorrow, so please don't waste the 10 minutes that we have left now.